All right, welcome everybody. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about why traditional security fails and how to fix it. We've got a quick info deck that we're going to run through. Mainly today, we're going to be focused on multifamily properties. We're going to be talking about our sweet spot, kind of where we got our start in the business, and how we feel like we do a phenomenal job and have had some great results in multifamily. So we're going to talk about that today. So I'm going to click over here on my screen. We're going to be having some folks join us. I want to encourage anybody that maybe has a question or two about Overwatch and our systems and how it works, to use the chat feature. Populates down there below. There's a chat button, and if you just have any questions as we're going along, make sure you throw those in there, and we'll do our best at the end to do a quick Q&A and answer some questions for some folks, and just kind of go from there. So yeah, so let's go ahead and let's get started. So today, a couple things that we're going to cover is cost-effective options, proactive deterrence, consistent coverage, speed to engage. Those are our four uniques as Overwatch. We're going to cover a few topics, which are intrusion alarms, patrols, security guards, and proactive video monitoring. So we'll get rolling right there. So a little bit about us and our history. So we specialize in proactive video monitoring. It's what we do really, really well. Our history, we've been in the guarding business for a decade. We recently just pivoted to proactive video monitoring over the last 3 years in this space. We've had a lot of success. We've learned a lot about what works, what doesn't work, and really the reason that we pivoted was COVID was a huge piece of that, but just trying to keep up with the need for staffing issues and crime, and we got to a place where cameras just made a lot more sense. Technology made more sense. And so we'll talk about that. But our mission is to provide world-class service, ensure vigilance and security, making sure all of your security needs are met. Our track record, we're one of the fastest growing proactive video monitoring companies in the United States. We serve several different markets, but we are nationwide, and we're growing in a lot of new existing booming markets. And so we started here in Denver, Colorado. We've moved into California, Texas, and a few other states. Got a lot of good things happening in that market. So, as mentioned, we're going to cover these topics here. We'll jump in, but challenges to for most property managers today, we're talking to multifamily, either asset managers, regional managers, property managers, leasing agents, maintenance teams. They're my favorite. They're the ones that end up having to clean up the mess, and they see different things on properties a lot of folks don't get to see. But crime rates continue to rise. Law enforcement, they're just limited on what they can do these days, and those folks pay a huge price. They work really hard, but at the end of the day, they can't be everywhere and they can't cover everything. And so that's why private security is such a great option for folks, especially in the multifamily space. So law enforcement's also requiring video verification for a lot of their events to respond in the event of an alarm or even in a video side. So, but that, you see this little map over here to the right, we take a look at some of the highest, crime ridden areas right now. So you got Memphis, Tennessee, St. Louis, Portland, Denver, Salt Lake City, Little Rock, Arkansas, San Antonio, Pueblo, Colorado, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Spokane, Washington. Top 10 right now. This changes, and obviously crime doesn't wait. It happens, and you never know what site or what city there's an uptick, and how that might look. So let's talk about intrusion alarms. So typically most properties in the multifamily world have an intrusion alarm. This is typically just on the clubhouse, possibly on some of the amenities. The last person out of the office turns on the intrusion alarm. The first person there turns it off. The challenge is that it can't really distinguish between real threats or not. Obviously, if there's somebody in the property that shouldn't be there after hours, you're going to get an alarm. But like I said earlier, a lot of times law enforcement's not responding to those anymore without a video verified event. So based on the age of the intrusion alarm, sometimes you get false alarms. Could be a lot of different factors that cause a false alarm, but that can be somewhat challenging. A lot of times departments or licensing committees charge an additional fee to come out, especially if there's false alarms. They don't really like those. Um, Small properties, small areas that need to be protected. I think an intrusion alarms, is a great option. It should be a complementary to, video surveillance or traditional security itself. Another option for multifamily is, security patrols. That's actually how we or myself got our start into the security industry, was with a company. We started offering security patrols, and some of the good things about security patrols is they're typically cost effective. They're usually cheaper, but there's a ton of limitations, limited coverage. There's time gaps. If you're actually experiencing real crime, I don't recommend security patrols. I think security patrols are good to just kind of maintain your property and make sure that there's not a whole lot going on. Patrols work really well for noise complaints, potentially removing folks from amenity spaces. The security patrols work really well for that. So, but not a whole lot of proactiveness there. It's usually in a reactive. Typically, they're randomized. What's we always recommended, if you stick to a schedule, if you've got folks on the property, they know what time you're coming, what time you're leaving. There's a lot of technology out there today that, from GPS tracking to report writing, that can give you some good statistics and analytics on your site and what's going on. Definitely recommend, partnering with a good company that has those tools to make sure that you're getting the reports that you want. I love Paul Blart, great movie, great story there. Traditional security guards, typically, the situation is it's so challenging. Typically it's, in security, a lot of what we do is overnights, and unfortunately, it's just hard to find good people that want to work overnights, and so you have, some complacency issues. Sometimes there's just, some phenomenal people out there that are working, doing a great job, but they're just, overtired. They're working additional jobs. Maybe it's their second or possibly, even third job. There's lots of technology distractions for us as humans these days, with iPhones and tablets and such, as far as watching a, Netflix movie, or, streaming the interwebs, or checking up their, Instagram profiles, or whatever it may be. And a lot of times it's hard to keep people on task and keep that vigilance that you want. And so a lot of times, people end up spending a lot of money without a ton of results. And so we'll talk more about that here in a few. Applications where, security guards do make sense, high profile properties, events. One thing I think, is that will never go away is, security guards for events. You got to have a human there to run a metal detector, make sure that, people don't have pocket knives or guns or such coming into an event. I always feel safer whenever I go through a metal detector, and there's security when I go to an event. So they also can support video monitoring, so proactive video monitoring. Some of our properties have on-site guards encompassed with what we do. It typically, is an expensive option, but it can definitely work, in tandem. So the solution that we want to talk to you guys about today is proactive video monitoring and how it works. So we either take over or install IP cameras on your property. And so what that means is these are hardwired cameras. They run on Cat5, Cat6 cable. The connection speeds are really fast. They give us a great image, 2K, 4K, just, a great image quality there. And it's combined with live humans. We call them agents that monitor footage for our team. So with artificial intelligence today, we can set the parameters and the settings on those cameras, and we can tell them exactly what we're looking for. So we meet with property managers, investors, the client side, to find out, what are their issues and challenges. Maybe it's just homeless or transients, but we'll set those AI parameters up to make sure that we're going to have success in what we're trying to deter or intervene with. So our cameras and our systems have LED lights. They also have an audio piece to that, which we have a 120 decibel siren, which we can make contact, two-way talk. We can actually talk to the person of interest on the site. which is pretty exciting. And we have the ability to contact local law enforcement or potentially the private security company that you've contracted with. So real quick, what it looks like, just the camera up there to the right, similar to a Defender series of cameras that we use. You can see the LED lights. So when somebody walks into an area, those lights come on. You see our mobile trailers down here. This is more for construction, commercial real estate, builders, developers, those types of folks where they don't have any power or internet. Those are great options. But we'll start here on the AI tripwire. That's where all the magic happens. Like I said, we program those cameras based on the specifics of the property. There's a push to our monitoring agents. And so what's really cool is this happens with less than 3 seconds with our team. Our agent is able to assess the situation and analyze the threat level and make a real-time decision. So at that point, is this person nefarious? Are they up to no good? Is it just a resident going to their car? Our agents are highly trained, and they've been doing this for over 3 years now and do a phenomenal job of deterring that, making that real-time decision. So that's important. So there's a lot of other companies out there that are in the proactive video monitoring space, but our team has a lot of experience with multifamily. We know what to look for. We know what not to look for. So that's key. We want to deter and intervene. So for most of the property managers that I meet with and might talk with, there's nothing more frustrating than having an event on your property whether it's car break-ins or it's vandalism or just property damage in itself. We want to deter that from actually happening. And we have a 98% success rate in doing that. And so properties that bring on Overwatch see crime reduced down 98%, which is exciting. And it's just, folks know they're being seen. They know they're being watched. They know there's a proactive system in place to actually stop crime from happening. So we just want to prevent it from happening. A lot of, existing old CCTVs, camera systems. You may get that footage, but typically it's grainy. You can't get a license plate number. You got to spend 9 hours. We met with somebody last week that spent 9 hours trying to find a property manager that spent 9 hours trying to find, license plates and footage. Couldn't find anything. It's just a mess. You turn that over to law enforcement. They're not really going to do anything with it anyways. They don't have the time or the resources. And so the best investments you can make is in a proactive crime deterrent system, which is what we offer at Overwatch. So just to kind of recap, we use live humans that are supported by AI software. We've got some incredible agents that work for our company and do a phenomenal job. There's an immediate interaction. It's a quick engagement, either with law enforcement or security guard. Most importantly, it's cost effective and it's scalable. So some of our properties have 8 cameras. Some of our properties have 80 cameras. It just kind of depends on the size of the property, what's needed, how bad of a situation you're currently in, and how we can scale quickly there. And one of the cool things, you see the operator over here to the right, we patch in with your security guard company. We have a live 2-way radio communication with them. And so when we see something going on, we're communicating with them literally within seconds to get a guard dispatched out there or a courtesy patrol headed that way. And a lot of properties, are moving towards proactive video monitored, encompassed with courtesy patrols. And we are saving people 60 to 80% on their security budgets, which is just mind blowing. So that's awesome. Our agents, they're just incredible people. We focus on hiring people that can take an incident from end to end. What that means is they get that AI trip. They have the ability to process it. They can call law enforcement. They can make contact through the 2-way radio. Our agents are paid extremely well. We actually bonus and give our agents incentives to actually stop crime. So we've created a competitive environment. Our agents are working daytime hours, so they're fully caffeinated. They're jacked up. They're excited, just like I am here today. While they're on shift, it's a great environment for folks to work in, and we've just got some incredible results of what that looks like. So we talked about that. Environment, culture's fun, exciting. Our team's paid with benefits and paid holidays and all the good stuff that you'd expect. So that's important. We talked about, the application as a primary security measure. Guards and support, they use a two-way talk down feature. That's really important because we have the ability to put eyes on these folks, so we identify them. So let's say we're at a multifamily property, we're in a back alleyway. We got somebody that's coming up. You'll see some of our videos here in a few minutes, but let's say they're pushing a bicycle or they've got a bag. So we identify them by saying, "Hey, you with the bicycle, how can we help you?" We start off in a customer service forward-facing conversation. Typically, at that point, once they know we recognize them, we've identified them. Hey, you in the gray shirt. Um, they typically have to make a game time decision. They know that we've identified them. If they're up to kind of nefarious activity, if they're planning on doing a break-in, typically they're just going to leave. They're going to go to somebody else's property or site that doesn't have proactive video monitoring. They don't want to mess with that. It's too complicated. It's too challenging. When you're a criminal, you got one goal. That's to get in, get the score, do what you got to do, and get out. And so it's cool that we have the direct connection with either law enforcement or security to get folks out there really quickly. I want to show you guys a quick video here. This is on a multifamily commercial site. So obviously this person shouldn't be there at this time. So the event is pushed immediately to our team. Our team's reaching out to law enforcement. Law enforcement's on the site. They come out and they remove the person from the property. It's a trespasser, there's a loiter. Another example, another trespasser shouldn't be at the site. This person was causing problems on the site, trash on the site, defecating on the site, all these different things as a property owner that you just don't want happening on your property. So more of a nuisance than anything, but we're able to remove those folks. If you're really interested in what we do, our best information is actually on YouTube. And so I would encourage you, if you're interested in an Overwatch system or proactive video monitoring and how things work, you can jump in here. You can jump into our channel or our page. You can type in, if you're a collision center, you can type in collision. If you're a car dealership, you can type in car dealership. If you can, if you're a multifamily property, you can type in multifamily. If you've got a parking garage issue, you can type in parking garage, and you're going to find a video that we have had a stop. And so we post one of these every week. We try to look at some of our best stops of the week. Sometimes we post multiple if we just had a great week of our team stopping crime. And so encourage you to take a look at that. There's some videos here. We did a podcast this last year with a couple legends in the multifamily space that understand the challenges with security out there. They recommend our company and what we do in proactive video monitoring, but just some great stuff. A lot of times it's as simple as just, there's a video down here of holding somebody accountable to, run through a gate in a parking garage, $20,000 damage. And so we've got license plates and information to be able to hand to the property owner so that they can prosecute that person and say, hey, look, you damaged our property. We're going to hold you liable for that. That's huge. A lot of times what we're doing is just, removing people. I know when I was in the courtesy patrol business, people spent thousands of dollars a month just to have their pools and amenities cleared out at 10 p.m. There's no longer a need for that. We can do all that virtually. And so a lot of opportunity with the Overwatch system. So just to kind of recap, typically what we see, the options out there for folks in this world are intrusion alarms. Yes, they're cost effective. Do they proactively deter crime? No. Consistent coverage? Yep. And the speed to engage is no. On patrols, they're typically cost effective. There's no proactive piece. There's no consistent coverage, and there's no speed. A physical security guard or man guard, they are not cost effective in our market. Typically, $80 to $100 per hour. So not cost effective at all. They are proactive if they're doing their job and they're being vigilant, which is negotiable. Consistent coverage is not. I ran a guard company for 10 years. The amount of call outs, personal issues, restaffing, it's really challenging to keep consistent coverage. For some of you folks that have been in that world for many years, know that it's really hard to keep a good security guard around. So it's challenging. Speed to engage. on a security guard. I mean, a lot of times is not. They have to go through the same process as the general public when it comes to getting police or law enforcement out there. So that's not really quick. Overwatch, we really check all those boxes. So it's cost effective. Like I said, 60 to 80% savings on an annual security budget for 90% of the properties that we quote and bid. The proactive piece, we have the LED lights, we have the two-way siren. It makes total sense. There's always consistent coverage. On that bit, there's a piece to technology and internet, your internet service provider. We want to make sure that we have everything buttoned up. We want to make sure that your network is good. But our team of project managers and installers, when we install a system, make sure that happens. And then the speed to engage is really, it's faster than any other option out there on the planet. So in my opinion, once again, proactive video monitoring is the greatest investment you could make in trying to protect your property. Industries we serve, as mentioned, multifamily is our sweet spot. We do a phenomenal job on multifamily. We have hundreds of properties that we take care of. We continue to grow in that world. It's something that we really do a good job in. Auto dealerships, we serve the largest auto dealership in the state of Colorado. They continue to grow with us. We do a great job for them. Statistics, this car dealership had 20 something cars stolen before installing a proactive video monitoring solution with Overwatch. After a year later, case study, 3 to 4 cars stolen. And, that's, 90% decrease in cars stolen. And a lot of these, cars that are being stolen, come to find out, it was kind of like an internal job during daytime hours where we're not actually monitoring those kinds of things. Collision, auto body, those are great areas of concern. A lot of theft, a lot of catalytic converter theft, those types of things. Back to auto dealerships, we do a lot of off-site lots. So when you pull into the car dealership, there's 1,000 beautiful cars sitting there waiting for you to buy. But really somewhere else off the beaten path, there's another lot that has, maybe 2,000 to 3,000 cars. They're circulating, moving in. There's a commercial division. And a lot of times those are not on really secure properties. And so we build out systems to make sure that those cars are safe. Construction sites, theft of materials is huge. I just left a construction company this morning. They said, hey, we definitely have some interest. We're tired of our things being stolen. We're tired of the liability of somebody being on our property and getting hurt and suing us. And so construction sites are huge. Those are great for our mobile surveillance trailers, self-storage, utilities, any type of infrastructure where somebody could get themselves harmed or cause damage to the infrastructure of utilities. You want to make sure that you've got eyes on those sites as well. And so we're able to help people in those areas. So here's some of our partners that we work with, people that trust us. Overwatch is a company to make sure that we are taking care of them. So some of the largest players in the multifamily space we service, we work through. We're pretty much guaranteed that we're covered from a compliance standpoint to make sure that we can take care of you. A lot of construction companies here, car dealerships. So we pretty much, we can pretty much work with anybody in the commercial space. So we take great pride in our relationships with our customers. We don't do a ton of advertising. We do a lot of branding and marketing because we're so passionate about our product. But most of our business comes from referrals, and that's property managers telling property managers. That's asset managers telling asset managers. It's the client side telling client side. That's how we got to California. So that's just taking care of people. Creating win-win situations is one of the things that we want to focus on. Making sure that we're taking care of folks. Our product lineup, we have our fixed systems. So 90% of our business is fixed systems, where we're actually either taking over or installing cameras on a structure. 10% of our business is the mobile units. As mentioned, those are great for construction sites, developments, commercial parking lots, those types of things. These guys actually have internet, solar, everything's kind of encompassed in one, so we can just create a system there for you. And then we've got the pole kits over there to the right, maybe a temporary solution where there's not power, we can throw up something there for you as well. So one of the things that Overwatch is really passionate about is giving back, taking care of folks. So every quarter, our team, one of our teammates actually on our team, we have a contest within our team to designate or choose a charity, a 501c3 that we focus on. And so going back to, so helping some kids in the Philippines with the orphans programs, to focusing on Ronald McDonald houses, the children's hospital here in Colorado Springs, or actually in Denver, and just focus on giving it back. So every time we deploy a camera, $5 of that proceeds or revenue goes back into this fund, and we write a check every quarter. So we feel good about that. Our team feels good about that. Our clients feel good about that. It's something that we've committed to as a team to do so. So if you have any questions, this would be the point where we would stop, take some questions. We'd love to just kind of kick the tires. If you have some questions, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So feel confident in asking a question. Use the chat feature. I'll click over here to my other screen so that we can see some of those chat questions, and we'll answer some of those, and then we'll jump off here. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and we'll just kind of take it from there. So, all right. So clicking over here to the other side of things, we have a few questions here. How do I figure out how many cameras I would need? That's a great question. So one of the things we do is we have a step process. So typically what we like to do is jump on the phone, jump on a Zoom call here, just like we're doing here today. And we like to do a site survey, virtual site survey. And we're just going to walk through the property, Google Earth, Google Maps. We can pull some incredible footage and photos of your site. And so we can actually just take a look and walk the property virtually with you. We can talk about some of the trouble areas that you're having. That'll give us a great idea of how many cameras you might possibly need. And so what that looks like is usually it's about a 15-minute call, and we just jump on a Zoom call. We walk through those areas. Typically what we like to do is get you back a kind of an instant quote over real quick. So if we walk your property, we discuss 8 cameras. We want to get that over to you real quick, just so you can say, hey, this is something that we are interested in. This is totally out of our budget or market. We want to make that decision really quickly and see if it's a good engagement for both parties, to see if this is going to be advantageous for you. And then from there, we just get an authorization, say, hey, we want to move forward. At that point, we send a project manager or one of our install technicians to your site. We tighten up everything, make sure everything is where we thought it was, on the virtual call. We firm up the proposal, the bid, and then we move forward. So typically, we're installing within 2 weeks of a signed contract. So we're able to go from there. How do I schedule my Zoom call? It's a great question. So if you go to our website, overwatch.live, you go through some different options there, but there's a way to schedule a demo there. So if you click on that, you're going to put your name, email, I think that's it, maybe a phone number in our little drop down, and it's going to send that straight to our sales architect team. So that's pretty exciting. So it looks like we just had somebody pop in, and we have a discovery meeting there. So yeah, we can just pop in there, grab that calendar invite, and we can just get you on the book. So you get to self schedule basically, and kind of go from there. So any other questions out there today? All right, cool. Well, guys, it's 11:30. We want to be respectful of everybody's time. We appreciate everybody that joined us today. We hope that this was educational. More importantly, we hope that you take the next step to learn more about proactive video monitoring. Jump on our website, schedule a calendar invite with one of our sales team. That way we can put a proposal together, see if we can help you out, see if we can help you keep your property safer. A lot of good things happen when your property is safer. Obviously, the client experience is going to be better. The resident experience is going to be better. Referrals for you, Google reviews, overall experience of a safer property equals higher rate of return for investors and asset managers. And we want to be a part of that solution to creating a safer property for you. And we appreciate your guys' time today. If you have any questions, you can feel free. You can reach out to me either on LinkedIn or my email. Be happy to help in any way we can. So appreciate you guys. Thank you. And hope everybody has a great day.